when everything shut down, the last thing we did is we went to the library. We took with all of us, four of us in the house with all our library card. We went to the library and we all took 12 books each. Bring the book, you sit home, you read, you transport yourself into so many places. So it's having free entertainment at the same time gaining so much knowledge, because not everybody can afford. It's a very expensive habit. It's for the rich.
In this episode of ATM Talks, we sit down with Meron Gwinger, who is the proud owner of Horn Books Galore. Meron embarked on an entrepreneurial journey right in the midst of the pandemic, opening the doors of a bookstore in the vibrant Shepherd Bush market. Since then, she has not only established herself as a business owner, but has become an integral part of her community. Meron's commitment to fostering a love for reading amongst the youth is truly commendable. Through regular book clubs and engaging storytime sessions, she goes above and beyond to encourage young minds to delve into the world of literature, helping them build confidence and expand their vocabulary. In today's episode, we talk about her passion for books, her work in the local community, and how to get a younger generation into reading. What inspired you to create a bookshop, and how did your passion with books start?
My inspiration for books started at an early age. However, the story might not be something that one might say, oh, how? So my father, being an amazing avid reader and educator, somebody who really loves to education in every sense, always wanted us to read more books, to know more things. But the way he delivered his method of us to read wasn't something that, as a child, that was very appealing. So we always shy away from it rather. But growing up now, many years fast forward, I'm here in London having my own sons, and I took the good of what my father did and I implemented it in such a way that my sons, when I do what my father tried to do for me, I do it differently. And by doing it differently, I have two sons now who are aged 12 and 14, who are an avid reader, who between them, if they go to any public libraries, there's no book in the shelf they haven't read. So, yeah, that's inspiration my father, and yeah. When everything shut down, the last thing we did is we went to the library. We took with all of us, four of us in the house, with all our library card. We went to the library and we all took 12 books each, so that lockdown is coming, library is going to be closed. So I brought all this, and then we had lots of books in the house. So for the first few months, the boys read and reread everything, and then it became like, Mom, I'm bored, I need a book. We spent so much money on Amazon.
Yeah.
And then it just hit me, if we didn't have the means, to be honest, my sons would have been, because David says always, Mom, I don't want a book, I need a book. And he does need a book, to be honest. And how many people can afford to buy a book on demand like this? And then I started a WhatsApp page, so when the lockdown was relaxing a little bit, so within the family, within the friends from school, I started a book swap, or kids can sell their books. So maybe about 15 or around 15 of us, I created this WhatsApp page. So we used to swap the books, or if the kids wanted to sell the books for £2.50, and then they could go back to buying it online or whatever. And then it just hit me, all the people that I have in the WhatsApp are quite people who can afford it. My sons went to a really good school, so it was very affluent people. So it didn't reach the wider community I really wanted to reach. So then I decided, I learned about the market, because they had a good offer with pricing. But that's the story I started, because not everybody can afford.
Yeah.
It's a very expensive habit. It's like as expensive sport. If you want to do tennis, probably it's for the rich.
What role do you believe reading plays in shaping personal and academic growth in young individuals?
Yes, talking from experience, like I have two sons that are tangible evidence to see what reading means. So, for example, your personal interaction, your vocabulary, your literacy, and everything that you do with reading, it really empowers your mind. Someone even said it's like having a free entertainment. If you go to libraries, you don't have to buy a book. You bring the book, you sit home, you read, you transport yourself into so many places. So it's having free entertainment at the same time, gaining so much knowledge and putting yourself into the character, imagination, critical thinking. All these things will fall under being an avid reader.
What's the biggest change you noticed in young people who read, like perhaps your son? What's the biggest change you've seen since?
Because I grew up in a home where my sons always read, but I can, in comparison to kids who haven't read, to be honest, I see, because even in the speed you read, it's not necessarily reading. It's not necessarily speed, but in the confidence, a child who knows how to read and somebody who is not well read. For example, I give you an example actually. Good, you ask this question. We have once in every Thursday or every 2 weeks I used to run a book reading in my shop in the store, and few kids will not be confident enough to read out loud because the confidence is not there, even though they're the same age compared to somebody who's reading. So reading is, for example, David speaks with so much big words, and some words I myself am like, oh wow, and some very old English as well, because he reads quite a broad different genre. And his teacher, every time we have a one-to-one, she always mentions that she can tell that he's a very well-read person from the stories that he writes and his vocabulary, communication with herself. So reading definitely, because school, for example, school gives you books, of course, but you only get given a book once a week, twice a week, and with that, if you don't finish those books, you're stuck with the same. So as parents, we need to give them more books outside the school so that they can develop more love for the book and then enrich their vocabulary.
True. How has the community responded to your bookstore, especially in terms of supporting and encouraging young readers?
The community liked the concept because I do what I do very differently. If I see the need that somebody actually needs a book, I give away for free. I encourage to swap books, and the kids can sit and read, because I made it very cozy place so that it allows you to sit down and without even realizing, kids just sit because it's so comfortable. They sit, they read. So the community really loves the whole concept around the bookshop, and it's nice to have a bookshop in the market where parents are shopping, sometimes with the elder siblings. The kids sit there and they read. So as for the community, it's something.
What made you think of a bookstore, Meron, when you opened the shop?
Oh yes, that point actually, because reading a book, to be honest, is a very expensive habit if you're an avid reader. And not many child can afford, not every parent can afford to buy a book on demand. Plus also, as ethnic minority, I think most of us don't prioritize books. We rather buy McDonald's instead of buying, when you see the price tag, $7.99, but you can go and spend money on other things. So I thought to myself, most people will not go to the library. Let me bring the bookstore to the people. This is literally bringing the books to your doorstep. So they can, and then also having the story of my sons. It's nice as a parent, because we are competitive as parents. I mean, healthy competition is nice. So when you see and hear a child as young as yours, people get inspired and they want to be. They want their sons or daughters to be like yours. So, yeah, bringing it to the market. Yeah.
What's the biggest achievement you've seen in young people who've come to your shop and maybe picked up a book? And have you followed their journey? Have you seen growth in those kids?
The journey in such, I have one actually Ethiopian families, because with this family I decided we just. Swap. I don't sell the book. So his return has become more shorter and shorter. He's a reader, she said, but now because he got access to so many books, and then on demand, some books I have, because I'm still buying every day. I go to Waterstones to buy a book at least twice a week for my son, because he reads a lot. So some books he might not find this in the library. So this child actually comes. He used to come every 2 weeks. Now he comes every week. And then he brings what he read, he takes new, And then he also brought me lots of books from his house. So his mom said as they were cleaning, he had me in mind, saying I'm going to bring these books to the market. So this is one example.
Wow. And has he, I mean, in terms of like his vocabulary, his confidence, his communication skills, have they developed throughout?
Yes, they did, to be honest. Yes, his confidence, especially, I could tell the difference.
Yeah, nice. What advice do you have for young readers in terms of developing a consistent reading habit? We know that, iPhones and stuff is available, but how do you keep them?
It is such a hard time for kids these days, isn't it, with all the gadgets you have. But I think it's not up to the kids. If you don't catch them at an early age, I think it's down to the parents.
What advice would you have for the ones that are like sort of, let's say, 8, 9, 10, like slightly young adults maybe? What advice would you have for them? Are there certain material that you can read that perhaps gets you into reading and then eventually? Like...
Yes, it has to be a book that represents you, that, representation matters in reading as well, but it has to be something that's funny. It has to be something that you really like. But I think fun books, to be honest, is very, very important for that kind of age, for them to get back into reading. If you give them any other fiction or fact, it's not going to work.